What do you feel would be valuable today?
What are the next steps that I can take to ensure that I can actually attract clients?
What does the goal look like? Like where are you trying to get to? Define it for me.
I wouldn't say like I have a figure, but I certainly would say I want to make myself less busy. So, of course, one of my goals would be creating like a video masterclass where I can actually put out for people so people can subscribe. So I see myself there.
So that's a goal that you are already outlining and solving, like you just told me. So what's the impossible goal?
What's the impossible goal? To be global, to be doing TED Talks across the world and being top of mind for most people when they think about a professional coach to help them with their voice. I'll be top of mind.
And how do you imagine what's the day in the life like for that person when you've achieved that?
I definitely have lots more time with my family, more time to do more things for myself and with my kids and hang out with my wife. My wife wouldn't have to work. Yeah, you have me like dreaming now, Brittany. It's like
How is how that person shows up different than how you're showing up now?
that person would have already put in the time and the hours that would get them to where they would be today. And right now, this person is still building the foundation and doing the work, and you have to do that. So right now, it's hands in the mud, hands in the dirt, doing what you have to do to build the system so that that could stand. Because if I don't do that now, even then I would have problems. So
I agree with you that I don't think anything great has ever been built without focus or discipline. But I wonder if shifting your mindset away from sacrifice and hard work and hands in the mud to a focus of discipline and focus could change the way that you're showing up to create and to really produce and be effective.
I would agree with you, yeah. Yeah, that would change the way I look at it. Discipline will speak to planning your days in a certain way. So like I know a lot of times you spoke about divide your day. Your work is your work and then family is family. And so then it doesn't feel so much like, oh, I'm working 12 hours a day and I have no time for my family. Then yeah, it probably would not feel like sacrifice. It would just feel like I'm building my business.
What I deeply believe is that we cut out a lot of great things in our life in efforts to create that impossible goal, that big dream. What that does is it kills all the motivation and the inspiration and the things that we're ultimately trying to get to. So when I asked you what some of your dream life is, you said it's spending quality time with your wife and kids. Would it be possible if we looked at like a daily, weekly schedule or something to create the time to be able to spend some quality time with your wife and kids?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, definitely. Yeah, I think we could do that.
So I want to challenge you to take the same approach and looking at what are you investing in? What is giving you a great return on your time and what's not?
I think what I need to invest in is reaching to my ideal target audience. And I'm now discovering that I have defined and recognized that my ideal client would be women in a professional context and especially looking to find their voice and own the room.
What would be possible if you combed through connections that you already have and looked to create a list of all the people that fit that profile, that have had some kind of interaction with you, that maybe you've worked with in the past? Like, what if you put all of those people onto a list somewhere?
Yeah, I can do that. I have literally a running list of my clients. I have them written out. And so, yeah, when I look at that, it would help me get a better idea of who they are.
What if instead of just looking at the list for attributes, you reached out to each individual on that list?
Oh, and say what?
What would you say to them? There they are, your ideal client, just sitting there. They already know who you are, which is huge.
I have no idea what I'll say to them. I probably have to think about it. There'll be so many different things, but I guess ideally.
Why is there so many different things? Do you do 100 million different things?
Oh, well, okay. I would probably say, hi, I would love to have a conversation with you and help you with how you communicate inside of your professional environment, how you use your voice to communicate, how you can own the room and be heard.
Now, let's take that to the next level. What are the things that maybe you're thinking when you're working with a client that you don't necessarily say out loud?
I wonder if they're getting value from this. That would be one. I hope that at the end of this, they actually are changed and they can actually implement everything we went through. That will be something. I do hope that they talk to other people about this experience and how good it is so that there's referral, there's continuity.
What would it be like to say that to them?
I don't know. I never thought about saying it to them because I'm not sure if it's appropriate or if it's something that is done.
I think, though, that this is where people get stuck, is that waiting for the perfect thing stops you from doing anything.
That is true.
What we're talking about specifically is working with somebody who is already a fan or an existing customer or a past customer, right? What would it be like to ask them about what was most valuable in our work together? I want to understand what really stood out to you. I want to use this information to make sure that I'm continuing to build a more and more valuable service for what people really need out there. And who better to hear this from than you? And I'm just curious, now that you've been through it and you see what's valuable and you see the changes you've made, can you think of anyone else that this would be helpful for?
Yeah, definitely. If when you put it like that, that I'm not uncomfortable to do that at all. I think the key thing in all of this is help. How did, our work together help you improve? I like that.
And helping is ultimately why you got into this in the first place, right?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
happen to know a specific way to really help people, and it changes their outcomes. It changes like what they create at work. It changes how they show up into a room. That's a wonderful, wonderful thing to provide, right? And
Yeah.
so wouldn't it be amazing to increase the scale of that and therefore increase the impact?
Absolutely. Absolutely.